Right? Shalom. First of all, I want to start this lesson off by giving all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to all the brothers who are fervently preaching the word in sincerity and in faith and shalom. To all the sincere Akwath, which are the sincere sisters. And shalom to the scattered Israelites, particularly the ones of the hopeful elect who are amongst these heathen nations and look like these heathens. Now, this lesson is going to be based on this article in regards to the Hawaii storms and the problem that visitors have once the storms leave. So through the Spirit, I'm going to read this article, get some precepts, and Lord's will, you're edified. It says Hawaii storms are leaving visitors with a problem nobody warned about. It said people prepare for Hawaii flight delays, road closures, mud, canceled activities, and maybe power outages during island storms. They do not prepare for what comes next. So as Hawaii's big winter storms pass and everything starts returning to normal, visitors usually think the hard part is over. In one sense, it is. Visitors start trying to get back to the Hawaii vacation they thought they were having. But on a tropical island, heavy rain does not end when the sky clears. It leaves something behind. The storms that hit Hawaii this week are not fully done yet. Another day or two of rain is still possible before conditions settle. But once they do, the next problem is already taking shape. Standing water does not take much time in Hawaii's warmth to become a mosquito problem. DOH directly tied the two, noting that recent and anticipated storms make reducing standing water more urgent to prevent increases in mosquito populations. Said Hawaii just showed how fast a trip can come apart in bad weather. Visitors were stranded, highways were cut off, and getting from one part of an island to another suddenly was not something anyone could count on. That part gets attention because it is dramatic. Once roads begin reopening and the sun comes back out, people pivot quickly to salvage what is left of the vacation they thought they were having. Beach plans, hikes, dinners, and everything else that makes a Hawaii trip feel like Hawaii. What gets less attention is what comes next. Heavy rain here does not leave clean endings. It leaves standing water in puddles, ditches, gutters, saturated ground, trail edges, yards, and every other low spot where water can sit. Visitors step outside on that first clearer evening thinking the hard part is over. It is not. The mosquitoes found the standing water before the visitors did. The mosquitoes in Hawaii do not need any invitation. Warm temperatures, tropical vegetation, and water sitting anywhere it can collect are enough. After storms like these, the water is everywhere, not just the obvious places. The planter outside the condo, the low corner of the hallway, of the hotel walkway, the roadside ditch near the trailhead or beach, the drainage area behind the vacation rental nobody thought to check. Visitors are not thinking about any of that. They are thinking the beach may still be rough, the trail may still be somewhat muddy, or the waterfall they wanted to see may be extraordinary. All true, but they are not thinking about mosquitoes. So that is where this is about to hit. Nothing dramatic, just enough to change how places feel. Evenings get cut short, doors and windows get handled differently, outdoor spaces stop feeling relaxing in the same way. People start slapping at their ankles at breakfast or giving up on sitting outside at sunset. The trip is back on, but it does not feel quite like the one they thought they were having. It says Hawaii is home to mosquito species capable of transmitting dengue and other viruses. Transmission remains rare, but DOH issues standing water advisories after significant rain events, precisely because the storm aftermath is when conditions become critical. This week qualifies. Slocky. None of this needs to take over a Hawaii vacation, but a few things are worth knowing if you are planning on arriving this spring. Said DEET based repellent is still what officials actually recommend, not just anything grabbed at a convenience store. Dawn and dusk are when mosquito activity peaks, which in Hawaii is significant because those are also just the hours people tend to be outside enjoying the parts of Hawaii that makes the vacation more wonderful. Great timing for mosquitoes. Long sleeves and pants help more than people realize, especially in shady areas. Staying in a vacation rental or condo, be sure to check around the property. Planters, low spots, buckets, anything holding water. Emptying it is something visitors can actually do and almost never think to do. A well-managed resort handles this. A rental does not always. And even with the best management, this much rain will inevitably breed large numbers of mosquitoes. Sunshine returning doesn't mean everything is back to normal quite. In Hawaii especially, the weather is a significant aspect of the trip, longer than the rain forecast. Yeah, and to an extent, I'm like, who doesn't know this? Like, my parents taught me when I was young that, standing water attracts mosquitoes, you know, in the summer or in the spring. So it's like from a very young age, I already knew that. But, a lot of people, when they go on vacation, they kind of shut what little bit of their brain they use, they just shut that off, so they don't consider these things. But this is also proof that the Lord, He's not allowing these people to enjoy their little vacations. Isaiah 48:22, there is no peace, saith the Lord Yahweh, unto the wicked. And that's right. There is no peace. These people, they want to go on vacations. And the Lord, He's just making it difficult for them to enjoy it. Something as, I guess, small as mosquitoes compared to like, a full-blown hurricane or something like that tearing through the area. Yeah, but something as small as mosquitoes could completely ruin someone's vacation. Now you've spent all this money to be in Hawaii and you couldn't even really enjoy your vacation because it was storming most of the time you were there. And then once the storms passed, you had to constantly deal with mosquitoes. And this is exactly what more and more people should be expecting to happen. Every time they try to go on vacation somewhere, the Lord is going to have something happen to make it not as fun as it used to be. Isaiah 29:6, thou shalt be visited of the Lord Yahweh of hosts with thunder, and with earthquake and great noise, with storm and tempest, and the flame of devouring fire. And Hawaii's been getting hit with a lot of storms lately, a lot of back-to-back storms. Or the Hawaiian Islands, I should say. Isaiah 28:2, behold, the Lord hath a mighty and strong one, which has a tempest of hail and a destroying storm, as a flood of mighty waters overflowing shall cast down to the earth with the hand. And depending on how severe the rainstorm is, it could cause flooding, which once again, if it doesn't drain quickly enough, will attract mosquitoes, like the article was mentioning. Slovakia. Psalms 83:14, as the fire burneth a wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. Verse 15, so persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. And when the Lord pours out these storms and tempests, it can result in flooding. It can result in power outages. Trees can get knocked over and fall into the road, blocking access to certain places. Due to the flooding, certain areas could be completely cut off, which leaves people stranded. It's not a joke when the Lord starts pouring out these severe storms. A lot of things can go very wrong. And all of a sudden, that fun vacation turns into a nightmare. And a lot of people, like the article said, a lot of people don't think about that. When they decide they're going to go on vacation, they're just thinking about having fun. They're not considering what they should do if things start to go wrong. They figure that the locals, Slovakia, they figure that the locals, already have it figured out. But it's like, it's your vacation. You shouldn't be depending on other people to fix your problems. You're the one paying the money. But also, we have to keep in mind that we are living in the last days. So, a lot of, the fun things that people are used to doing, going hiking, going to Hawaii, going to like Miami, just being on the beach, things like that, all of that's coming to an end. Like it says in James 4:9, be afflicted and mourn and weep. Let your laughter be turned to mourning and your joy to heaviness. So the Lord is replacing people's joy and their laughter with mourning and weeping and heaviness. See, a lot of people don't understand that we're in the last days and that there is not going to be any peace for them. All of their former peace will be replaced with misery. And that's how you know who the Lord is dealing with and who he isn't. Because those of us of the hopeful elect, we understand that because the Lord blessed us with the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of these scriptures. So we know that things are about to get very uncomfortable out here. These simple-minded people, they don't understand that. They're still trying to move around as if this is like 2017. But no, we've already been there. That time has came and went. And now we're in the time of constant judgment being brought upon the earth from the Lord. And these wicked people are the Lord's target. That's why in Isaiah 48:22 it says, there is no peace, saith the Lord, unto the wicked. They're the ones who are going to feel these judgments more than anybody. As they should, because they're the ones who, through their wickedness, are daily provoking the Heavenly Father unto wrath. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up here. In closing, I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash, the Wadi Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to all the brothers who are still fervently preaching the word in sincerity and in faith. Shalom to the sincere Akwath, and shalom to the scattered Israelites of the hopeful elect who are amongst these heathen nations and look like these heathen nations. I hope you all stay strong, stay safe, stay fervent, stay circumspect, stay prayed up in Adawan, Ratazah. Till next time, shalom.